Mayor. Desensitised communities, that's what we have in the Aston ward. There's no value for money by this administration, Lord Mayor. You only have to visit Aston, and I invite the leader to take a trip down Aston and speak to some of the residents. The fly tipping, one of the biggest problems, not just in Aston, but I'm sure in every inner city ward. The image that you can spot from the satellite or space, you'd think that only the Great Wall of China would be spotted, but in Aston, Deacon Avenue, ask the elderly lady who's in her late 80s, ask her how she feels when she has to wake up every morning, smell the stench coming from that fly-tipped area. And there's no budget to deal with that. No one's willing to take responsibility. We can't ask the residents to foot the bill because they didn't put it there. You've got these hotspot locations scattered around inner city areas where people, some rogue landlords, which hire the services of professional fly tippers, and their function is to go and locate these spots around the city where they can dump. And if the city council is not prepared to take action, we accept they may not be in a position to take enforcement action for lack of evidence. But they must do something. And I don't blame Councillor Majid Mahmood, the cabinet member, but to give a response, which they have in the press, is remarkable to say, well, the council didn't put it there. Well, we accept the council didn't put it there, but who's going to remove it? That particular spot in Deacon Avenue is a serious health hazard. If there's a fire and there's children in and around that location, there's going to be some serious repercussions for this council. And that's not about political colours. It's the reality. And to just simply say, well, we'll just leave it there, because that seems to be what's being said. Ask the residents of Aston what they think about street cleansing. Streets scattered with litter. On the odd occasion, we have a beat sweeper, but there's no value for service. It just doesn't exist. Crime and antisocial behaviour, Councillor Mumtaz is saying, fellow councillor in Aston raised it. You know, we have antisocial behaviour, which is probably the greatest in the city. The deprivation levels in inner city areas have increased. And there's no equality. I've heard councillors talking about levelling up, bringing those areas which are right at the bottom in par with some of those affluent areas. Well, there's none of that by this administration. There were small pots of funds which they were allocating. Aston was forgotten, yet Aston has to be considered as one of the most deprived. It ticks all the boxes in terms of crime, antisocial behaviour, everything. It is amongst the top. But yet, it seems to be forgotten. Now, I welcome the leader's gesture of giving £100,000, £100,000, what we used to have back in 2010, but £20,000 for a two-ward councillor area. Inflation, yeah. It will help. But whether it will go anywhere near what we need in this area is, well, let's hope it's a start and let's hope it progresses. But I want to add, localisation and devolution was something that the Labour government introduced and was advocating. And that's all been taken away. In Aston, we had many residents which had forums and groups. They don't feel that they have any power. As ward councillors, we're like toothless tigers. We just don't have the ability to have officers accountable. And it's no disrespect to any of the council officers. They work hard. But as ward councillors, we are fighting an uphill struggle to even get the very basic of things done. Street lights, 10 days to change a street lamp or get a street column fixed. How's that value for money? And my colleagues already talked about bereavement services. And that's another area which is close to my particular anxieties to see a change. And I want to sit with Councillor Cotton to see how we can improve that. But that's another area which needs investment and needs officers that can deal with matters in a more efficient way. But with a 4.99% increase, the communities are already suffering with the level of increases. I ask the Labour administration and the Labour Council to be bold and support our amendment. I notice I'm out of time, so I'll stop there, Lord Mayor. Thank you.